photos with
I was going to ask you about that. I bet that was a big.
Oh,
Me as a black man in England, you still have your challenges as a culture and there's certain things that you see.
to move forward is to cut for my music.
Right, today I'm just excited. This is the first Inspired Youth Action Sharing Knowledge podcast that we're delivering to the Yorkshire area. I've got a guest today that's really inspirational to the Yorkshire community. And I feel like it's a pleasure being here with him today. I'm over the moon to have this guy on the podcast, and for the first one, it's amazing. The work that he's done in the community is like inspirational, not just like for grown adults, for me, especially for young kids that I've seen that love him, love his work, sometimes I see little children that he posts on his page and I think, wow, they're just smiling. And just to see a child smile is just inspirational for me, do you know what I mean? That's one of the reasons we did this Sharing Knowledge podcast, because we wanted to highlight people and give them the recognition that we feel like they deserve. This man here deserves this recognition, I believe. Before I get into anything, I just want to tell a short story about when I first met this man, because my son got up at 8 o'clock in the morning and he said, Dad, I need to go to Darth Vader's. And I'm saying, where's Darth Vader's? And he's like, no, Dad, listen, I need to get there at 8:30. So I've got up early in the morning, picked up my son. We've got here, I can see 20, 30 kids, around 30 kids outside, young teenagers outside, queuing up ready for this man. And when he come, he had his camera, he was set up right. And the thing that I loved about this man that I'm interviewing today, he charged £5 a trim on his first day opening. And I look around the shop now and I think, wow, how many years was that, Amos?
5 years now.
5 years. 5 years, and then I look around now and I'm thinking, wow. So today I want to introduce Amos, the CEO of Darth Vader's. I just want to shake your hand, brother.
Always welcome, brother.
I want to shake your hand. It's a massive thing.
Thank you, man.
I want Amos to give an introduction and just speak a little bit more about how it started. And
yeah, man. It's been a journey, isn't it? It's been a journey. Obviously, I've come from Africa, Ghana to be precise.
Yes.
And being in UK was kind of hectic because my first time in UK. And obviously, we did one or two things out there, and now we're here.
Magnificent.
So as the interview goes on, I'll be sharing more about who I am.
Of course.
And stuff like that.
I love that, man. I love that. And for me, it's inspirational just to have you here in the first guest, you know what I'm saying? And I've got a few questions I want to ask you myself, do you know what I mean, as a brother, do you know what I'm saying, and seeing what you've done. So getting into the podcast and getting into this first interview, I just want to ask you, how was your family life growing up, your household and siblings, and what was it like growing up for you?
To be honest, my household was kind of all right, because I got to live with my mom, my dad, my siblings. Because, you know, African house is kind of like a big house and everyone is around. So
yeah.
So my family, me, my brother, my sister, and my mom and dad had one little house we lived in. And growing up with my mom and dad was the best thing I think happened to me.
Wow.
Because you see, probably people are the way they are because of the kind of parenting they had.
True.
So basically for me, it was beautiful living with my mom and my dad and all my family together until I grew up in the UK.
Wow. So what age did you come to the UK?
I came to the UK when I was about 18 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically my mom, obviously, everyone had a bad story before. My mom, my dad lived a very poor life before, but then, you know, something happened and they had to come to UK. My mom came first. And so after a while, she worked for two solid years. And then he brought me, my sister and my brother to UK. around 2013, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first time I came to UK, and I felt like I was in heaven. Coming from Africa, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you growing up in Africa and like your mum's the inspiration and your father's the inspiration. They're still here now, or are they back home?
My mom is here.
Okay.
My dad also came here. But I think I won't go into this for now.
No, of course, man. Of course, I understand. It's no, I understand.
Both mom and dad are in UK though.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. They must be proud of you though.
Yeah, very proud of.
Very proud.
Yeah, very proud.
Very
but in the beginning, it wasn't so. They weren't very proud of me
Okay.
because of the journey I took. From African parents, you know, there's a lot they want us to achieve.
Definitely.
Like in education and stuff like that.
We're gonna get into that.
Yeah.
I understand that. Yeah, man. So I hear that people like Amos came over at the age of 18. Do you know what I mean? And when you look around this shop now, and how do you feel when you look around the shop? And
I don't feel accomplished yet because I know that definitely there's more ahead, more things I want to do. But at the moment, I'm super proud.
Yeah.
Super proud because seeing where I started from, having one little shop by myself, no one was there. I was called Dark Fader before, Dark Fader.
Okay.
And now it's Dark Faders.
Right.
We are many now. And it's been a good journey.
It's
so far so good.
Right. I love that, man. I love that. So how was your school life, Amos, growing up in school? Because you came over at 18, you said. So did you have your education back home in Ghana?
Yeah, I went. Obviously, if you're young, you have no option. Your mom and your dad, they're going to force you to go to school. They will wake you up in the morning, bath you, everything, take you to school. But then when I got to junior high school, I felt like I was a big boy now.
Yeah.
So I started doing whatever I want and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I declined in knowledge.
Okay.
I was one of the people who were classified as, sorry to say, dumb people.
Right. Okay.
Dumb people. Yeah. So one challenge I had in junior high school was that everybody saw me to be a dumb guy. Because at the end of the exam, my results was very poor.
Okay.
Very poor. Until I met this one friend who told me that there's nobody actually dumb in the world.
Wow.
He told me, I really remember this, and that has been my inspiration. He said, nobody's actually dumb in the world. All we got to do is to put effort. So the guy gathered me together, put effort, we studied. I became one of the top 5 in my class.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So I went from junior high school to secondary school just because of that one friend I met.
Because I know African parents are very firm on education.
Oh, very firm. My mom and dad. Let me share this quick fun story.
Yeah.
Me and my brother went for an exam.
Okay.
And then we failed. It wasn't a failure, but then to my mom and dad, it was a failure.
Right.
Because they wanted to get that top-notch result. So I didn't get that. And so the results came. My dad asked me, what did you get? And then I was so scared because my dad was going to whip my ass. I was super scared. So you know what I did? I went to buy, that white marker, like a Tempest.
Oh, yeah.
So I quickly changed the grade.
Whoa.
To something that would please my father. My dad caught me and he said, who did this? I said, obviously I was afraid. Oh, that day.
Wow,
oh my goodness.
Gosh.
My dad whooped my ass, man.
I know, because
yeah, man.
Because even being a barber, I'm thinking, I bet that'd have been a challenge telling your parents you might want to be a barber, because I know a lot of African parents want to be lawyers, doctors, engineers, do high-end jobs, and with being a barber, they might have looked at him for, where we're going with that.
That was a challenge, to be honest. Very big challenge. Yeah. That was one of my biggest decisions I ever made in life.
Wow.
And it wasn't easy. Sometimes when you want to make a right choice, most of the times, everything around you opposes.
Definitely.
Yeah. Like if you're going the right way, everything around you will tell you that where you're going is wrong. But then you yourself know what is in you and where you want to get to.
Wow.
So that was my inspiration. Everybody else was like, my family, they were like, where are you taking this to? A barber? You want to be a barber? What's a barber? What can you get from barbering?
Wow.
So I had to, put my things together, grind, just to prove my parents that, I can actually do something with this.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is
so
amazing.
It wasn't that easy. It wasn't that easy,
That's amazing, man.
to be honest, yeah.
So can you share any challenges from your past experience that you had to overcome?
Past experience, yeah. Yeah. Back in Africa, let me take us back to Africa.
Yeah, of course.
So back in Africa, it was in secondary school when I graduated from junior high school, going to secondary school. So, in Africa, education is a big thing. Like, for instance, going to like secondary school is a very big thing. The excitement, people want to leave their family home to go live alone by themselves.
Right.
That excitement was there. So everybody was willing to, go out from their family house and go live in schools and stuff like that. But that was the time my mom and dad became so broke. Super broke. I don't know why it was my turn, but
Wow.
super broke. So I had to stay home I didn't go to school.
Wow.
That was where my school ended for a moment. Yeah. So a full 1-2 year, I was at home. And it was, trust me, this was painful, bro.
Wow.
This was so painful because seeing all my friends ahead of me, and I was just grinding. I woke up in the morning. I put in Ghana we used to sell something called gari.
Okay.
It's a kind of like a powder form, like a food.
Okay.
Yeah. So I wake up in the morning. I go on the street. I sell. That was when I discovered that I could actually be a business person.
Wow.
That's why challenges are good. So if challenges come, it comes to reveal who you truly are.
I believe that.
So that was when I knew that anytime I went to sell, people were buying what I was selling. So I thought, wow, okay. So at that period, I was so broken. I was so like whatever you can. I was so down. But then that was the time I discovered that I can be a barber as well. I cut one person's hair. That was my first time I saw one person's hair when I was just grafting around, selling. And one guy said, "Oh, can you help me cut hair?" And I said, "What are you asking me for? Am I a barber?" And you know what? Yeah, I thought, you know what? Let me try, man.
Of course.
The first time I did haircut was amazing.
Wow.
Imagine if I didn't stay home for 2 years, I wouldn't have discovered who I was.
Powerful. How old was you when you first did your trim, and how old was you when you first did your?
I think I was about 16.
Wow.
Yeah, I was about 16. That was when I finished my junior high school, going into secondary school. I was about 16 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, very young.
Very young.
I was very young, but then I was rugged. I was rugged. I was not afraid of anything at all. Whatever, I'll just go with you. I'm not very afraid of that. Yeah.
That's amazing to hear, man, because listening to your story with education in England, growing up with my education and listening to your education, and my parents wasn't really into education as much.
Yeah.
They wanted me to go to school. They wanted the best for me, but they wasn't really education driven.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, listening to you, it's so powerful that you were so sad and frustrated that you never went to school, and seeing your friends fly past you, you were still sad, because sometimes when I was at school, my friends, some people were flying past me, but I didn't really be bothered.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But listening to your story there and how it motivated you, and you was out there selling, and that's how you found your business. That's just magnificent to hear, man. Like, it's incredible. So what motivated you towards your career path then? What motivated you towards this journey that you're on now? Because I understand that you were selling and you had the business and you cut hair, but that could have just drifted off. That could have stopped, that could have been just in the air. Like,
it could. But let me just chip in this real quick. I at the age of 16 years, obviously that was when my challenges began as a young boy, selling on the street and stuff like that. And that was the time also that I discovered God.
Wow.
That God factor. My mom had always told me about God. Go the path of God, go to church and stuff like that. But then, as if you are a youth, you don't know what these things are about. It doesn't make sense to you. So at the age of 16 years, I was wondering about going up and down. As I said, I was broken. And then one time I was in my room and I heard a very loud voice. I don't know where it came from. Very loud voice telling me to wake up and go to church.
Wow.
So I just went, and the man of God was preaching, and everything was about me and stuff like that. So that was the time I started becoming confident of what I'm doing. And I thought, wherever I went, people were asking me, give me a shape up, give me a shape up, give me a shape up. And I'm thinking, who am I, man? Like, this queue you see today, it began years ago,
Wow.
When I started, it began years ago. When I went to secondary school, people were queuing, and I wasn't that good as well. But so I was thinking, okay, so seeing that alone became a big motivation to me that, okay, let me stick with this and see where it goes. And there was something that was driving me, which I've not discovered it yet. I'm just driven. I'm just driven. So I think that talent in me that I discovered became a good motivation to me and my parents as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's magnificent to hear, because God came into your life and probably brought you on this journey without you even realizing.
Yeah.
If God is walking with you on this journey, I believe, you know what I mean? And when you're saying that now, I can see it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So much light shines from you. You're so humble, your presence, you know what I mean? Because I believe that you walk with God. Yeah. I can feel that. Do you know what I mean? And just being here today is a blessing. You know what I mean?
Because sorry, not cutting you off, but I think the greatest mistake or the greatest failure people go through is the fact that they don't know their purpose. If you don't know what you are born to do, you can jump on any other thing that you want. You can follow anybody you want. But if you get to know who you are, you choose the kind of people that will align with who you actually are. So I was fortunate. I just discovered who I was at a very early stage by God, and I just proceeded with it. And now we're here.
Wow.
We're here.
So when you come to the UK, did you want to become a barber? There were no other skills in your head. When you came here at 18, did a barber I want to have a shop, or this is what I want to be, this is what I want to do, or were there any other skills that came into your head that might have distracted you or anything? Or barber, when you came at 18, did you say, I want to be a barber?
To be honest, I was a little bit smart because I felt like everything around me was working together towards a goal.
Wow.
So I just picked it up. So because how is it possible that as one barber in a shop, there was a lot of people in the shop, a lot of barbers as well, but people come and then they want to wait for me. So I was looking at them like, okay, why is it, of all people, why is it me? You know what I mean?
Special.
So it means that there is nature. God is trying to tell me something. So I just picked it up and just moved with it. That, okay, if I am able to open a barbershop and make sure that myself becomes many, not just myself, but many of us dark faders. As I said earlier on, I was my first name, Dark Fader. I was the only dark fader. But then when people start getting close to me, I thought, you know what, let me become dark faders so we can be many. Many youths who are willing to learn the craft, they can come along. So that was actually when I discovered that I needed to open a shop and to do many more things. And to be honest, there are a lot of things in my head I want to do.
Wow.
This one is the basic.
Is this basic? This is just the start, you said.
Basic, yeah, this is the start.
Wow.
Basic, very basic.
Because you inspire so much young people. Like when I come into the shop and I see the young barbers that work here, and the young people that come into the shop, and the energy that's in this shop, I always think Amos is special because there's so many barbers out there. Why would they want to work here?
Why? That's the question. Why?
Why do you think that is though, Amos? Why do you think, what is it about you that makes them feel like they want to work here?
Oh, that's a good question, That's a very good question. I think everybody needs to be open. You know, you never know who might be going through whatever.
So true.
I've received kids here. I remember, I don't want to mention names.
Yeah, of course.
But one kid came to me, and now he's a very good barber now. Now he's everywhere. He came to me and he told me he wants to be a barber. And I said, okay. And then he told me, but I'm poor. He said, I want to be a barber, but I'm poor.
Yeah.
You know, that day I cried.
Wow.
The guy can testify. I was sat in the car with him. I cried. And I'm like, why do you want to learn a craft, but something is blocking you? Poverty, money. What is money? So I just got him on and taught him, bam, 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 bam. Now he's an A-star barber. And I feel proud because at least I gave somebody a talent, a craft where they can, wherever they go. And sometimes money is the reason why people don't share love.
So true.
Yeah, people don't share love. So I just think because I'm kind of open, I'm open to everyone. If you come close to me and I can help you, I'll just help you. So I think that's the reason why people like to come to me and people like to be around me. Yeah.
It's the empathy that you have.
Yeah.
Because of listening to your journey. And when you have empathy, you can go deeper inside. You can go deeper for that person. Yeah. So I always say empathy is a big thing for me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like empathy is walking with someone on the journey.
Yeah.
You know, like what you just said then. It's not, there's a big hole in the ground and someone's stuck in the middle and someone's shouting down, that's sympathy. But empathy is going down in the hole with them.
Wow, yeah.
And waiting for that help.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't have that.
Yeah.
Where you have that naturally.
Yeah.
God blessed you with empathy, and some people are blessed like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I definitely think I'm blessed with that.
Definitely, because I can see with the barbers that I'm in the shop, and I think they just love your energy and your presence. You know what I mean? Yeah. So can you share with us like a tough decision you've had to make to move forward in life? You know, like a tough decision that you've had to make to move forward, because a lot of times in life you have to cut people off.
Yeah.
To move forward with yourself. Do you know what I mean? And
that is exactly what I was about to say, to be honest. You know, when I was growing up as a barber here in UK, this is not Africa now, it's here in UK. When I came to UK at first, you know, the glamour and the kind of lifestyle in UK, I got used to it. I'm like, this is new, this is nice. Buying shoes, because I was working as a barber in someone's shop.
Okay.
And I was getting money.
Right.
So any money I got, sneakers, boom, sneakers, boom, sneakers, boom. And one time it got to me, I'm like, what am I doing? Is that how I'm going to live my life? So I had many friends who were obviously influencing me to go buy sneakers, buy cars without having a driving license.
Wow.
Stuff like drive without having. So one of the biggest tough decisions I made to move forward is to cut all my friends off. Many of them, many. Because I believe that if you have 5 wise people, you are the number 6.
That's powerful, that Amos.
And if you have 5 foolish people, you are the number 6 foolish person. You can't walk with 5 wise people and not be wise. So the first thing I did is I cut my friends off. And I can promise you that today, some of them came here when I did the shop up. They were shocked. Because all they were telling me before, oh, let's go to parties, clubs, let's go buy shoes, buy sneakers, you know, this kind of lifestyle. And I'm like, yeah, it's good. I've done all of that. But what am I doing to move forward? And these people will not allow me to move forward. So I have to fly with people who are business-minded people. I had to change my cycle. I had to change. So I totally changed my cycle. And then I saw a change, like a drastic change in my career. So yeah, I think that was, and also telling my mom and dad that I wanted to be a barber here in UK. Was also tough.
I was going to ask you about that. I bet that was a big.
Oh my God, my God, bro! My God. I will never forget that day.
Yeah.
Especially my dad was not here then.
Okay.
That's why I said I didn't want to.
Yeah.
My dad was back in Africa.
Right.
My mom was here.
Okay.
So my dad rang my mom. My mom rang my dad. Said, "Oh, come and look at what Amos is doing." Amos said he doesn't want to go to school. He wants to be a barber. And I said, that's not what I'm saying. I said, this is the career I want to, you know. Oh, they won't agree, bro. They won't agree.
That's right. Because
yeah.
Because a lot of young people are going to watch this and see you in this chair and think, wow, Amos, that was a deep, deep thing you said there, because your parents didn't want you to be a barber, because the young people nowadays probably go home and say, Mum, I want to do this. Oh, Dad, I want to do that. And sometimes you parents want you to be what they want them, you to what they want there to be. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you stood on that decision to say, no, I want to be a barber.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you showed him.
My dad just wanted that, when you graduate, that kind of hat.
The hat.
My dad. So I told. So now, right now, I'm in uni now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I told my dad, I just want to give him that hat.
You just want to show him the hat.
I want to
to say, listen, I've done it.
Yeah, take the
hat now. You
not go to my barber now. I want to do big things now.
Yeah, take the hat. You take the hat. So
yeah,
that's magnificent, because a lot of young people, like I said, are gonna watch this and they're having challenges. Do you know what I mean? And they're having a lot of, what's going on in the streets nowadays, and there's a lot of crime and a lot of knife crime, and they haven't got that confidence or self-esteem sometimes. You know what I mean? Because they don't have the background that some of us have had. You know what I mean? The parents, like you said, supporting you all the time. And listening to that, what words would you give a young person now that was 16, like your age, who may be having that battle?
What I would say is they need to embrace the challenge. Embrace it.
True.
And walk through it. People that are always seeking for peace, as supposedly as they say, you can't find peace if you don't go through the battle.
Powerful.
You can't find the light if you don't go through the tunnel. So before you see the morning, you have to see the night. You get what I mean? So it was my challenges that revealed my skill to be a barber. So if you find yourself on the street, find yourself in, let's say, a gang, you feel like you are lost. First of all, the first thing you need to do is embrace the fact that you are in a challenge. Now, you find a way. Where is the tunnel?
Yeah.
Where is the tunnel now?
So
as you are in a challenge, your skill, I believe that everybody has a talent, and the talent will start showing up. When you grab it, just run with it.
So true. Nice.
Yeah.
Just reflecting and thinking, because when I was in my dark times and I was on the streets and seeing a lot of dark things growing up, there was always a bit of light that I could see.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it was, but that light always kept me going, because I could see it, but I didn't know how, it was like a distance, you know what I mean? But there were light there, it was never dark.
Yeah,
I could see the light. So when you're saying that, it's so true. Like, young people, if you're watching this, or anyone who's watching this right now, if you see that light, don't give up.
Don't give up.
The light's there, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you have to go through the dark times.
Yeah.
Like Amos is saying, in the battle, and go through certain things to get to that light. Do you know what I mean? And it's not easy.
And one thing, I believe that if you have breath, if you can breathe, there's still hope for you.
So true.
Yeah, if you can breathe, so there's always a way to turn around. There's always. So wherever you find yourself in, whatever, just hope that there can be a turnaround. And if you can hope it, and you can see it, or you can become it.
Wow.
Yeah, you can definitely become it.
Massive. Yeah, man. So just listening to the journey, Amos, man, I'm just so happy to be a part of this journey, and listening to your journey has inspired me. Do you know what I mean? Because I come in the shop, like I said, and you're cutting hair, and I see you cutting hair, but listening to the journey now gives me a better understanding of where it comes from and how you got to where you are today. And that to me is just inspirational. Do you know what I'm saying? So how do you stay focused and disciplined with the challenges? Because you talked about a lot of challenges today. No matter if it's your parents and from Africa and coming over, and England, and friendships trying to get you to buy the best clothes, and the traders and buy this. But what made you stay focused and disciplined with all them challenges? Because it was...
Yeah, I'll just say probably three things that I do usually, because nobody is greater than challenge. Nobody's greater than challenge. So for me, being like a godly man, a Christian, the first thing I do is to pray. And this scripture is what I use, Philippians 4 verse 6. I'll just read quickly. He says, Do not worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all He has done. So that's my first step. I pray. I pray because if my friends are not willing to hear me, at least there's somebody above to hear me. So I just pray. After I prayed, number two, I remain a positive mindset. Mindset is everything. If your mindset drops, you will drop. If your mindset rises, you will rise.
So true.
Even though I'm seeing only 2 people sat here, I'm not going to say, oh, the shop is dead. No. positive mindset only. Oh, the shop was busy, man. Oh my God, it was busy. That's what I'm going to say to you. I'm not going to decline and say, oh, shop is dead. You will never find me saying that my shop is dead.
Wow.
Even though maybe one day people might not come in, I will never say it was dead. Positive mindset. You can find yourself in a challenge. Everything can go wrong, but let the mind be strong. Oh, I'll get there. I know I'll get there. I know it. So that's what keeps me going and focused. And the third is I'm watchful who comes around me. You know, when you have a challenge, it is the right spot for people to get you on different path that is not your calling or that's not your real path. For instance, if you are crying, people will come and say, oh, let's go. I've got like a woman for you to sleep with. You sleep with them, you'll be okay. But maybe that time, that's not what I really need. So I'm watchful who comes around my space. If you don't have that mindset as I have, I will love you. I will welcome you. But for me to share everything with you will be a problem. Because I want somebody who will put me where I want to be.
Wow.
So these 3 things is what I do to keep me focused. And let me add this 4th one. The goal, the bigger picture. Always keep it in mind. You can be in jail. You can be in jail. And if you have that goal in your mind, that goal will bring you out of jail.
Wow.
Yeah, it will. Something, that mindset of, I want to be somebody, like what you are doing. Like you want to get there. That mindset will drive you. So that's what it's been driving me. It's been keeping me focused. And of course, my parents are always there for me and stuff like that. So checking up on me and stuff like that. So yeah.
They're powerful 4 things, Amos, because prayer is always on my list. I pray every morning.
Yeah.
I pray for my loved ones. I pray for my health.
Yeah.
I thank God every morning.
Every
no
day.
matter what, how I feel, I always thank God in the morning because I feel like prayer is important. Like you said, it's going up. Do you know what I mean? And if your friends don't hear you, He's listening. I always say God don't sleep.
He don't sleep.
He watches every move you make.
Everything.
No matter if you try sneaking or you're doing something fun, He's watching. He knows your intentions and He knows your heart's. He knows whose heart's pure.
Yeah.
Definitely. You know what I mean? He knows. He knows exactly that.
Yeah.
So you coming to England, Amos, and England, whoa, crazy. Like I bet it was like a culture shock to you. Like you landed in England at 18 and like, whoa, I'm here now. Like so, when you came over, how was it? How was it for your first time? Because it's. Me as a black man in England, you still have your challenges as a culture and there's certain things that you see, and no matter if when I'm going to work sometimes or I've worked in places, they don't understand my culture and I'm born here. So for you came from like Ghana, and you came here at 18, and how was it for you with the culture? Was it a whole different shock? Was it a whole different ball game? How did you adjust?
This one is going to be funny, but it was a total shock.
I bet it was.
Complete. You know, the first thing I was shocked is how people dress, like girls, women.
Wow.
In Africa, you don't see somebody walking about with short skirt, like nearly naked. So when I came to UK, I'm like, why?
I mean, you were thinking, this
like,
is
what's this?
What's going on?
Yo, you just go and change, man. What are you doing
Wow.
here? Yeah, I was completely shocked. And the setting, like when I was in the plane landing, I looked and I was like, whoa, where am I? I was so shocked. And obviously, language-wise, getting to understand the language, it was also one thing that I struggled because I remember talking to my friends and we had to get from A to B, and I was trying to tell them how are we getting to where we are going.
Okay.
But then I used a proper English vocabulary.
Wow.
I said, how, I asked them, what means are we getting there?
Wow.
What means? And they start laughing at me. Like, what do you mean, what means? What do you mean? So, I see people who are very tall, but then they are young.
Yeah.
African was not like that. It's not like that. Like, you can literally tell someone's age by the way they look. So all these things were like, education-wise, completely different to how African, you have to study everything verbatim. Like, I remember one time in my exam, they asked me to draw a fish and name it.
No, but he was like, I draw a fish and
Where
name
am
it.
I mean, what degree am I going to get from naming a fish? You know what I mean?
It's about that because I work in a school and it's 50% African students.
Yeah.
And majority of them can speak 5 different languages. And that shocks me because coming from England, I can speak English.
English, yeah.
Even though I'm black, it's like we lose our mother tongue.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? A lot. And they don't like being in isolation. Do you know what I mean? African students, like, if they're in isolation, it's like prison to them.
It does.
They don't want to be in there because I see that the education they love so much. And they go through the same culture shock. They always talk about the culture and how it changes and stuff like that. But with the languages, so do you speak fluent different languages or?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I was born in Ivory Coast.
Okay.
My mom and dad are from Ghana, but then
Right.
I was born in Ivory Coast. I could speak a little bit of French,
Right.
but right now I can't speak nothing, no French.
Okay.
So right now I just know Ghana language, that's Twi
Yeah.
and English.
Right. So that's just
And
magnificent.
thank God I studied in Africa, so that when I came here, I could speak English.
Wow.
Yeah. So at the moment I just speak only 2 languages, Twi and English. Yeah.
The mother tongue. It's important to have that mother tongue because I feel like we don't have that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's important. I feel like that's been stripped away from us from history. A lot of stuff has happened and we never kept our mother tongue, especially coming from the Caribbean background.
Yeah.
If you speak to a lot of Caribbean men, we don't have that.
They don't have that tongue.
They don't have that tongue, you know what I mean?
Culture is missing.
You know what I mean?
We need to bring it back.
We need to bring that back. Especially, I feel like that's important for the young adults growing up, the children growing up as well. Do you know what I mean? Just to understand that mother tongue is important. Do you know what I mean? And very important. So the shop, Amos, I'm looking around. I want to get into the shop before we miss it. The idea, man. Like, where did the idea come from? Where do you vision? Like, do you dream this, or you're a visionary, or did you have this in your mind for ages, or?
I've had it in my mind for ages.
Okay.
For ages. I believe in slow movement.
Wow.
I don't like to rush things. I just believe in slow movement. So I have like many pictures that shows my beginning to where I am.
Wow.
And it's been like slow movement. I always tell my barbers, you don't need to rush it. Keep it steady. Don't follow everybody. Don't follow the trend. Stay in your lane. So I've had this picture in my mind for a long time, like black and gold. And, the gold means light. It means light and divinity, like something that is divine. And so gold to sit in black. When there's blackness and gold appears, everybody sees it. So that's been my picture always in my mind. But then, number one, I've not met the right people yet. I've not. So when I met the right people, like obviously, big man like Cam. Shout out to Cam.
Shout out Cam. Cam's in the house still.
Man. Shout out to Cam, man. Yeah.
So you say Cam made the vision come through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can have a vision, but
of course,
just for it to come through is a problem. So you need to get like good people around you who can actually let it come to pass. So I think I've had this in my mind for a long time, for decades. And
so true.
Now it's looking good.
I know, because I was speaking to one of my friends and he came in and he said, I'm not bothered if my tune's gone up because I love the way the vibe is in the shop. He said it's like You just want to be a part of the experience.
Part of the experience, yes.
And that's what I get when I come in here. It's the experience of having a trim at Darth Vader's. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know my sons, the regulars.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? From the...
Shout out to the Nero.
Do you know what I mean? The Nero was for you from the jump. Do you know what I mean?
From day one, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He won't go nowhere else.
Yeah.
He won't go nowhere else for a trim. He believes in you, he trusts in you, and he believes in the whole journey. Do you know what I mean? And I love that, man. Yeah. I love that, what you do for young people and how you make them feel.
Thank you.
Do you know what I mean? It's amazing. I'm going to have some fun with you, Amos, though, because I like having a bit of fun.
Of course, man. Ready for it?
Do you know what I mean? I'm going to have some fun. So I've got some questions here. They're called impossible decisions.
Oh.
Yeah. And for the first guest, I think it's only right that you start off. Okay. There's going to be a few more people doing it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And
no worries, man.
obviously, we're going to see it. So I'm just going to flick through here like this, and I just want you to tell me when to stop. Yeah.
All right.
And I feel like I'm gonna do about two, 3.
Okay.
You get me? So I'm just saying, all right.
When you're ready?
All right, when I'm ready.
Stop.
Would you rather have 8 eyes or 2 noses?
That. 8 eyes or 2 noses. 8 eyes.
8 eyes?
Yeah.
Okay. So for the what is it? 8 eyes?
8 eyes?
8 eyes? I don't know, you know. When I'm thinking about that, would I have 8 eyes or 2 noses? Probably.
If I can smell good, that's all I need. But I need 8 eyes just to see behind me. I don't know who's stabbing behind me.
So you gotta have 2 there.
I'll put 2 here.
2 there. Very true. I didn't think of it like that, you know, Amos, because, you know, some people say they got 3 eyes at there.
Yeah.
So 8 eyes, wicked. We'll go again. I love that, man. I love that. Tell me to stop again. I'm not looking. We'll go for the yellow. Would you rather drink from a toilet bowl or from a pig's trout? Whoa!
Well, what a question.
What a question. What a question. What this is
I would say toilet bowl.
Toilet bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause
if it's washable, my mom always told me, if your eyes doesn't see it, it's not nasty. If you drink water and you don't see particles in it, you are free to drink it. But once you see that there's particles in it, you drop it. So if the bowl is clean, it's washed. But for me, for the pigs, nah.
I love that. And the last one.
Let's go to the back now. Back. Stop.
You go to the back. Ooh, this one's a good one. I like this one. Would you rather live for 100 years in the future or 100 years in the past?
100 years in the future and the past.
That's a powerful question now, viewers, isn't it?
To be honest, the past is what made me to be like this.
True.
So I will live 100 years in the future.
Wow, that's powerful. That
yes. I don't need to revisit my past.
It's true.
Exploits in the future, 100 years to see all these youths become like me. Walk on the path like straight. I'll live to see that. Yeah.
I love how you said that, because that means you're not dwelling on the past.
No.
Because sometimes we dwell on the past and focus on the past and forget about the present and forget about the now. Do you know what I mean? That we're in the now right now. Yeah. We're living in the now. But sometimes we live in the past. Yeah. The only time we have is the now. Do you know what I mean? So you're looking towards the future. You want to see young people like you said. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Before I wrap it up, I just want to say, sharing knowledge. Wow, the first guest, Amos. And like I said, I'm just happy to have Amos on here. And I think he's dropped so many gems. I can't wait to just listen to it back and probably like come and see you in 5 years' time and see where you are, Amos. You know what I mean? Because the last time I came, it was 5 years, and then look now, 5 years again, and like you said, the future's bright for you. Do you know what I mean? And we do this Inspired Youth Action. This is what it's about. This is why I wanted to document the work and the recognition that people are doing in the community. And I'll say it again because sometimes it gets overlooked. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes we don't know what someone's doing or how they came or where they came from, do you know what I mean? To where they are today. And sharing knowledge, that's why I called it that, because we are sharing knowledge.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We shared knowledge today and you've expressed this. And I'm just happy to have you on this platform today. And I'm just happy, man. I'm so happy. I don't even know what to say. You know, when you're just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And this is like inspirational for me, you know what I mean? The background I come from, and you've probably seen my journey.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And now we're embracing it and we're enlightening so many youths, because this is what it's about, the youth to watch this and say, you know what?
Watch and learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No matter if you come from another country, or you come from a deprived area, or you come from an area with both parents, like you had your both parents, you said.
Yeah.
You still kept focused, man. But before I wrap it up, I want to shake your hand, Amos, man.
Thank you
so much for being on Inspired Youth Action, man.
Inspired youth doing good, man.
Thank you. Peace, love. Please stay tuned in, people, yeah? There's more to come.